So I'm here at Costco today where I'm going to be reviewing 3 models of Dyson side by side. This is the V7, the V8, and the V10. Let's get started. I had the opportunity to take a look at this V10, this $480 unit. It happens to boast up to 60 minutes of cord-free, fade-free power, as we see here on the box. In comparison, as we look here at the V7, it boasts 30 minutes of fade-free suction. Obviously, the comparison here is that the V10 is twice as much. So immediately I wanted to put both together and have a look at the batteries. As I look here at the batteries, things get interesting because this one is 2100 milliamp hours of capacity, and this one here is 2600 milliamp hours of capacity. So as far as batteries go, we're definitely not looking at twice the capacity, though I believe this is a 7-cell right here and this is a 6-cell. As far as actual storage, definitely not double. So where are we getting twice the actual usage from, especially if we look at the box and it boasts an increase of suction, I believe, by 20% more as well. I'm kind of confused about that assertion. Sounds like quite a claim. And it doesn't matter what type of batteries are, what they call the batteries, nickel, cobalt, and aluminum batteries. Amp hours is amp hours. That's the total capacity of the batteries. I don't care what type of exotic materials they use. At the end of the day, it's the capacity of the batteries that's going to dictate the runtime. I've got the V10, the V8, and the V7. And if we look here, the V8 has 2800 milliamp hours of battery capacity on a 6-cell. The V10 has 2600 milliamp hours. So the V10 with the 7-cell has less battery capacity than the V8. So I'm wondering, with 20% more suction, how does this one have more vacuum time than this vacuum cleaner? It doesn't make any sense. I would love to see this one running in a showdown, because we're looking right here. I'm looking at the actual labels. This has 200 milliamp hours less. The 10, you see, this is the 10, than the 8. And this is a 7, by the way, with 2100. The 2100 on the V7 boasts 30 minutes. The 2800 on the V8 boasts 40 minutes. And the 2600 on the V10 boasts an hour. Doesn't make any sense to me. So you can't really tell from looking at the front of the box, but if you take a look at the side, you'll find in really fine print, it now says applied in suction mode 1 with a non-motorized tool attached. So what they're doing now on this version of the vacuum cleaner is they now have a setting that runs it really slow and no motorized tools, so they can keep kicking up this number without raising the capacity of the battery. So what this is a garbage value they're giving here. They're running the vacuum cleaner in the lowest performance possible under the most ideal conditions to kick up this number. It's a meaningless number. So the V10 boasts on the box that it spins at 125,000 RPM to create 20% more suction as part of a sales pitch as an improvement upon the V8. Yet on the very same box talks about you could get that hour of usage by making sure you stay far away from that level of suction, because you would not get the hour time that they advertise. So they say you could get 20% more suction, but don't use it because it'll drain the batteries much quicker than you would if you were using the V8. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Adding insult to injury, you can see that it's literally right down there, right on the box. It's like, hey, 60 minutes of fade-free power if you don't do this. Wow. That's something. As this is the first time I've seen this on the Dyson, I'm led to believe that I think they've gotten as far as they can with batteries, and they really need to dial back performance to be able to increase the number they could advertise in the box for how much time they could get out of one of these vacuum cleaners. And the Dyson 7 Animal Plus currently listed here for $250. The V8 currently costs $300 with the $80 rebate. So you're left to answer the question, are you willing to pay $480 for a vacuum cleaner that could theoretically generate suction to get far less vacuuming time than a comparative model that costs half the price, because you could get more power out of this, but the battery time is smaller? I don't know. Doesn't sound like a win to me. Maybe the V8 or the V7 could be a better buy in this circumstance. And this isn't really subjective. You don't have to take my word for it. The values are right here clearly displayed on the vacuum cleaners, and you can do a comparison of these numbers based on the price. Again, 2100, 2800, and dropped down to 2600 milliamp hours. The capacity dropped on the V10, and they advertised it as a higher capacity vacuum cleaner in terms of time. I think that's deceitful. I really do. Left to wonder at this point what kind of gimmicks they could add on to this vacuum cleaner that they don't already include on the 8 and the 7. I'm going to say, probably not something you want to buy. The 8 and the 7 are an improvement on the 6. So I do another video about these where I talk about some of the features they've improved on. That's not what this is about. This is a side-by-side comparison, and some of the deceit that they've thrown into this one, I don't know. I find it a little strange. I welcome your feedback on this. Obviously, there's a discussion to be had about this. We could talk about that and provide some input and feedback in the comments below. Ultimately, given all three models, price and feature and the things they do, the V7 and the V8 came out close. They're pretty much the exact same thing, except you get an extra 10 minutes of vacuum time from the V8. We opted for the V7 for $250, so we're just going to take one of these. Is what we're going to do. That's the one I chose. Hope you enjoyed this quick video on the comparison of battery capacity versus price on the Dyson V7, V8, and V10. Hit that like button below. Helps me out a lot when you do. Subscribe for more videos. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Would you like to reply?